Good evening and welcome to another round of the House of Esports F1 23 League. This is going to be the second preseason race of Season 4, and we're just waiting for the drivers to get into the lobby. We've had a couple of technical issues already this evening, starting with a little bit of a weird graphical glitch. Well, we're hoping it's a weird graphical glitch because I checked last night and, well, last night we had 18 minutes quali, but today, when I was correcting some settings in the lobby options, I found that when I saved the settings as a new setting set, it actually saved the quali length as 12 minutes instead of 18 minutes. So it'll be interesting to see whether that is actually the case, whether we have a 12-minute quali or an 18-minute quali. But yeah, a little bit of weirdness. I'm pretty sure it was the same yesterday, so not entirely sure what's going on there. But let's see what happens when we get into the game. Hopefully I will have my full telemetry overlay. I'm trying a different device to control it tonight, so if there's any issues with that, I'm going to switch back to the in-game views just for that. And yeah, so a couple of things going a little bit better tonight than they were last night. A couple of things going a little bit worse. So it's going to be interesting to see, where we end up. So the lobby has loaded up. It's busy finishing off the session start sequence, which normally takes about 30 seconds and then times out, and then we hope and wonder and whether the game is actually going to load in, although it has just gone to 0, so looks like everyone has managed to load in nice and quickly. Obviously racing around the Shanghai International Circuit tonight at Mire, not a problem. Just possibly be quick. We don't know how long quali is. So yeah, as I was saying, racing around the Shanghai International Circuit tonight, I've just seen something a little bit concerning on my side, so I'll keep an eye on that, and we might have a small delay before the start of the stream. Cool, admire, enjoy it. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay, so we have loaded, I think everyone has loaded up. Session started 18 minutes, so EA not knowing how to count, not knowing the difference between 12 and 18 apparently, so yay. Go EA. Okay, so we are waiting for a couple of extra drivers. We've got 9 drivers in so far. Their names appear to be showing fine, so let's go across to the stream itself. No one seems to have gone out just yet, which is not a problem. Someone does appear to be going out. So let's see how this goes. The game sounds are on, sound alerts are working. I did manage to fix that as well, so if you guys want to scream no into my ear in Charles Leclerc's voice, that works. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Gottlieb is heading out on an outlap in the Mercedes. He joined us last night and we saw a little bit of a struggle from him. He had some pace at times, but then at other times seemed to be struggling to keep the car pointed in the right direction. We do tend to run slightly higher assists, or slightly lower assists if you want to argue that, than some other leagues. Dandy, aren't you supposed to be joining us? You said you were. Yes. Well, it's only 9 people, so maybe not. Last night we saw someone forget to brake into turn 1, and that caused probably 5 people to crash into each other, and all sorts of knock-on effects through the rest of the race. So, that sucks. That's really unfortunate there, Dandy. But yeah, thank you for joining us in the chat at least. And yeah, this is indeed going to be interesting. Demo, thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see how this goes. This is actually quite a track that I quite enjoy, I must admit. And let's put the track back on. Nope, that's not what I'm trying to do. It's probably on. And then let's see if my things work. They don't seem to be working. Why are they not working? Okay, so one of my telemetry applications does not seem to be working correctly. It's the same one that didn't work last night. So I don't know if it's maybe because it is quali at the moment, or maybe it's running on the wrong machine. So let me just go check that. So you're going to see a menu screen for a bit while I try and figure out what's going on. No, that's running there. If I go into Dash Studio, I can see that all there. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm just trying a couple of things to see if I can get this thing to actually work. It doesn't seem to be working at the moment. You guys are going to see just a little bit of randomness for a moment, probably. Does that work? That now works. Okay, 2 seconds. I just have to fix a bunch of things. Not sure why I'm having to do this after every single race, or before every single race, but at least we will have the proper telemetry up for this session. Alrighty, there we go. As you can see, a couple of things going on. There we go, and nope. There we go. Okay, right. So there we have the proper telemetry that we managed to get working last time. Danny, China kills tires. Yes, indeed it does. So it should be quite interesting to see how the guys do on the tires. I'm actually going to switch across to the standard telemetry for the quali, just so that we can see what's going on a little bit better. A couple of things will pop up. Whether for the quali, whether in fact in general is going to be clear all the way through. We're setting clear for the pre-season testing, just to make it easier for the guys to race. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. We are waiting for a couple of people to still join, so that might be why we are still... Italian Legend going very wide there, not managing to not invalidate the lap and getting fastest lap of the session for good measure. So that was a little bit of a weird one there. It looks like Mystic Wind is coming down the long straight. Chicken Wing looks like he is starting lap, so we'll go on board with Chicken Wing and watch how he navigates the China circuit. This first corner is incredibly strange to run. You have to sort of let the car wash out wide, pull it back to the apex, which Chicken managed to miss a little bit there, and then it's a very sharp left-hander where you can very quickly get on the power, but if you get on the power just a little bit too hard, you do lose it, but you do lose so much time if you don't get on the power quickly enough. So very difficult first sector is a couple of corners and a bunch of very quick corners that you have to take a little bit quicker than you'd expect, and then these incredibly long radius corners which are a pleasure to drive, and then another tightening corner which sort of breaks the flow in. You have to very quickly change your mindset around the corners. Double left-hander, which you have to try and extend as much as possible, particularly going to the middle of the track for some reason, and then shooting back to the outside. That won't be good for his tires or his lap time. Now, round this second very long radius right-hander with a fair amount of banking. That banking can cause the car to destabilize and spin out down the incredibly long straight. The straight is almost ridiculously long, but it's quite a lot of fun. It does have DRS down half of it into the final couple of corners. A little bit of a wiggle there by Chicken Wing as he gets on the power, and then a fast left-hander which leads you towards the start-finish line. Let's see how he does. Mad Luke, welcome to the chat. 5th position for Chicken Wing, 135.428. So lots of time to find for a whole bunch of people. Italian Legend, 7. Yeah, that's 7/10 of a second ahead. You can see there 7/10 of a second. So yeah, well done for Italian Legend on that lap. Admire is currently going, or Thomas Lang, sorry, is going through into at the end of the second sector and starting his third sector now. We do know him from Admire, so as Admire. So yeah, we'll see how he does. Scott Barreras, welcome back to the chat. Haven't seen you around for a while. Good to see you in the chat. So yeah, Thomas Lang heading down into that final straight. DRS will be wide open. You basically run out of speed before the end of the straight, and you can actually end up losing tire or losing speed at the end of the straight just because of the fact that it drains the battery so heavily. So he goes into the final corner, throws it in quite nice and aggressively, comes across the line. How does he do? He goes fastest by 2.2 seconds. So a massive lap there by Thomas Lang, and great to see that he has that sort of pace in his Mercedes. Demo unfortunately has invalidated his lap time, so not going to get anything further from there. So I'm going to go check if anyone else has managed to get back online. We had a couple of people trying to join, which the game was just not allowing them to. So yeah, that no one else seems to have come online. So Dukiana, I have tried to invite again, and we'll see how that goes. How's it, Andre? Good to see you in the chat. Thanks for joining us. So yeah, Chinese circuit at 131.221, current time on provisional pole. Gottlieb in the second of the Mercedes, or what is now the second of the Mercedes, is heading around for on in an outlap. 9 quite mid-lap, sits 2.2 seconds ahead of everyone else. Sure, we'll take your word for it. So Gottlieb currently winding up for another lap. We'll see what he can do in the second of the Mercedes. Currently almost 3 seconds off his teammates, so we'll see how he does. If anyone does want to join us, just give us a shout. If I've got you on my friends list, I'll be able to invite you. If anyone on the in the grid has you on their friends list, they're welcome to invite you as well. This is pre-season, so yeah, we're not too fussed about extra people joining us, and it'll just make the race a little bit more fun. Speaking of fun, just while we watch Gottlieb start and head through turn number 1, missing the apex a little bit there as well, which does put you at a bit of a disadvantage for the second corner. So yeah, it won't be entirely great. I think Discord is, there we go, that should be a link to the Discord, so if you'd like to join up there. Most of the communication actually goes on the WhatsApp groups. Smurf should be able to add you, just send him a direct message either on Discord or through Twitch. He generally joins us, so he should pop up at some point, and just tag him and ask him to add you to the WhatsApp group. So Gottlieb unfortunately overcooking it into that final long right-hander before the long straight, and yeah, that's one of those things. So if you get on the power just a little bit too early here, as Dandy did mention earlier on, this track does chow tires. If you don't have your setup exactly right, the tires will not be in the correct window, and you will end up with an issue. Esco currently on a lap, so currently sitting in 4th place, 3.4 seconds back. I did miss that Admire was on 7 kilos of fuel, as well as 1.4 seconds than his slower than his personal best. So more to come from Admire. That could be interesting. But Esco currently out there going through into the final sector of the lap. Did manage to improve on his first sector, lost a little bit of time on his second sector. He's about 2/10 up on his best time. So not lighting the timing screens alight, but he is managing to find some time on this lap. We'll see how he does as he comes towards the final couple of corners. This incredibly sharp right-hander, you can see how much rotation is in the car there. Maybe not pushing the car as hard as he could. That looked like he was driving to the circuit rather than driving to the car, so we'll have lost a little bit of time there, but still good enough to go up into 3rd position, a good chunk of time better than his previous lap. So good lap there by Esco. Looks like Elf is on a lap in the other McLaren. He's coming towards the end of it as he comes into turn 11 and 12. This is where we saw Gottlieb spinning earlier on. Seems to, no, that looks like he has bailed out of that lap. His red charging light is on, so Alf has bailed out of that lap. We have Mystic Wind, Keycracker, and Demo all winding up for a lap on outlaps at the moment. Italian Legend also on an outlap, and he looks like he's about to start his lap. So let's ride on board with him as we go through here, so you can see the rotation through these corners. Alrighty, so Italian Legend completing his lap, going up into second place. Thomas Lang getting a better lap there, about 1.4 seconds or 1.3 seconds quicker than his previous time. Demo now heading into sector 2, going through the very fast turn 7. You have to try and brake and turn at the same time with trail braking into 8, and the double left-hander of 9 and 10. This is the apex of 9 a little bit, but that will open up 10 a little bit more nicely through 10. See what we can do at 11. We'll break quite nice and late. Oh, a little bit too late. Misses the apex. Will compromise his entrance into turn 12, and now has to carry that mistake all the way through 13. And about halfway through the straight, you do hit your maximum speed. So it doesn't need to carry it for too long, thanks to how long the straight is. But that will have affected him heading down here. DRS will be open, heading down into turn 14 and 15. This little right-hander, and then the fact that it kinks a little bit more. So that was 15 that you just went through there. Final corner 16 gets nicely out to the right hand side and doesn't quite extend the track all the way on the exit, but does put in a great lap there, going up into second. 1.8 seconds off Thomas Lang, but Thomas Lang, obviously we did see that he has massive amounts of pace. But yeah, good lap there by official Demo. Welcome to the chat, Bennett. It's good to have you with us. Admire you, if you say so. Yeah, that's a little bit rude. I mean, you're basically saying that everyone else is worse. So, yes. But no, Demo, great lap there by Demo to find a massive amount of time. That was his only lap of the session so far, only successful lap. The previous ones he had invalidated. Just trying to see who might be on a lap at the moment. Gottlieb looks like he does have the ERS to start a lap. Does look like his tires are in the right window, so I think we are about to see a lap here by the second Mercedes. Starts the lap. The Chicken Wing goes up into 6th position ahead of Elf, Keycracker, and Mystic Muchwind. So yeah, Gottlieb starting his lap now into turn number 1. Will have to pick his braking point, try not to hit the brakes too hard and slide the car. Hits the apex quite nicely there. Takes that looked almost like the exact racing line through there, which can compromise you a little bit. Looked like he did find a Red Bull on the apex of that second corner that would have that may have affected him. We'll see what his first sector time is. He has improved in the first sector by a 10th. This Red Bull in front of him, whoever that is that is Chicken Wing, who might be on a lap as well. No, Chicken Wing's definitely not on a lap with that sort of ERS. So Chicken Wing, unfortunately, will be causing quite a bit of dirty air here, and you shouldn't really be doing that. He isn't on a lap. He's only got 5% ERS. He's basically just compromising Gottlieb's lap all the way through here, and I think it's close enough now that I would actually consider that. Yeah, I would. This is definitely impeding. I would definitely look into this and probably penalise Chicken Wing. He wasn't on a lap. He didn't need to be on the racing line all the way through there. He should have gotten out of the way. That would be a situation where I would penalise, just to keep people's standards up. People need to understand that during quali, if you're not on a lap, you need to get off the racing line, get out of the way, let people go through. So yeah, a little bit annoying there. Gottlieb coming to the end of his lap, goes up into 4th place, so does find a position. We've got 5 seconds left of the session, so let's see, is anyone still on a lap? Thomas Lang looks like he's got a decent amount of ERS still. Watch his telemetry, yeah, definitely has the ERS, is burning it. So will he manage to get another fastest lap? 130.973 at the moment. I think he's probably got another 10th or 2 according to what he said earlier. Preseason testing starts tomorrow, if I'm not very much mistaken. So yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, the Red Bull is looking very interesting. A lot of very nice liveries on the cars. Thomas Lang has actually improved in the second sector. Lost a little bit of time in the first sector. Hasn't made up that time in the second sector. So currently still a little bit down on his total lap time. Did get the fastest second sector of anyone though in this one, which he didn't have. So he's got the fastest first sector. Now has the fastest second sector as well. Has the fastest third sector. We'll see what he can do as he goes through these final couple of corners. It starts tomorrow at 9 o'clock, if I read correctly. I was actually on the on the site just now because there was a big watch now button, and I was like, okay, cool. I must have mistaken when it starts, and then it was like, no, it's just the pre-testing show. It's like, really? Anyway, Thomas goes through to the top of the times, or gets a faster time. Once again, did find some extra time in that final sector. So 1:30.855, his fastest lap. Again, saying it's a horrible lap. Sure. But yeah. So yes, the testing does start tomorrow. It starts at about 9 o'clock, and I'm looking forward to that, to be honest. It should be quite a lot of fun. So quali is now over. Thomas Lang out in front, Dimo in second, Italian Legend third, Gottlieb in fourth. Then it's SKO, Chicken Wing, Elf, Keycracker, and Mystic Muchwind. Alrighty, so lobby is busy loading up at the moment. Yes, I am very much hoping that McLaren can take the fight to Red Bull. In fact, I'm hoping that a lot of the grid is a lot closer this season than they have been in the last couple of seasons. I am a little bit concerned about the fact that Red Bull has changed their car concept as much as they have. I don't feel like they would do that unless there was something that they knew that no one else did. So I'm a little concerned. But yes, McLaren absolutely. I reckon that they probably have the better chance of taking the fight to Red Bull. They don't seem to have as much discord in the team. They have a strategy team that doesn't seem to mess up too often. They do seem to have respect for their drivers as much as the F1 TV radio broadcasts have seemed to show them in a bad light. Okay, so let's just focus up for a bit. 5 red lights and away they will go. Thomas Lang has a black screen, a little bit of lag there. It looks like everyone is getting away fine. We'll see how this goes. Thomas Lang losing positions already due to that black screen. Oh, and a little bit of a problem there for Italian Legend. That might be because it is AI. If Thomas Lang is an AI, then we'll have to try and re-invite him as quickly as possible. But official Demo has actually taken the run off the start, and we've got a yellow flag in the background. That is Mystic Muchwind in the Red Bull. Has spun. It does look like does he have someone there with him? He does not. Gottlieb and Elf also seem to have fallen back though. Do we have wing damage? We do, in the form of Mystic Muchwind. So Thomas Lang out in front once again. Missed that because we were looking at what was going on in the background. Demo in second, Italian Legend in third. Yes, yeah, and and we have Mystic Muchwind. Oh, that's interesting. Not entirely sure what happened there, but way off into the middle of nowhere. Italian Legend trying to warm his tires. Are his tires cold? They are indeed. Although they showed cold for a second there, but they weren't. So that is a little bit odd that he's weaving so aggressively. He is putting a lot of wear on those front tires. And a virtual safety car is running at the moment, so we'll see how it goes at the end of the first lap. We will switch from the F123 graphics through to the normal graphics that we have been using, see if they are working, but they only work at the end of the first lap once the guys pass the start finish line. So we'll wait for that to happen and then switch across to those graphics. But yeah, McLaren don't seem to fight their drivers. So as much as F1 TV has portrayed the radio messages as being quite antagonistic between Lando and Oscar Piastri and so on, what they later explained is that they are encouraged to question the strategy because there are good chances that the drivers know something that the race strategists and so on don't. And so when you hear them disagreeing with the strategists, it's basically asking them to just double check their stats and reevaluate what they're asking for. Esco gets a drive-through penalty under the speeding under the VSC, so may have just accelerated a little bit too early. And let's see if we can get this working. There we go. And you can see it's just a little bit nicer. So Demo out in front with official Thomas Lang out in front, official Demo in second, Italian Legend third, Chicken Wing in fourth at the moment, doing quite well, SKO in fifth, then it's Keycracker, Elf, Gottlieb and Muchwind is going through the pits at the moment to replace the wing that he lost earlier on. So Thomas Lang is trying to pull away as much as possible. It looks like he is doing a pretty good job. Italian Legend is staying with Demo, and it looks like he is right on the back of that Williams. And let's see what he can do down the straight. It's just a slipstream at the moment, no DRS just yet, so we'll see what he can do if he does have that slipstream close enough. Esco does have that drive-through penalty, so that's a little bit unfortunate for him. We'll see when that disappears. And the slipstream, you can see how strong it is as Italian Legend pulls closer to Demo. Does he go for a move? No, he breaks a little bit early, hopes that Demo overbreaks. Does look like Demo did break a little bit late. They lost the two Thomases in front. Actually, that is true. I did forget about that. But yeah, the two Thomases leading. Demo's first name is Thomas as well. So yeah, the Thomas, well, you know, I was going to make a Thomas the Tank Engine joke, but then it just failed as I tried to make it, so we won't go there. Looks like SKO is serving his drive-through immediately. I think that is actually the correct call. Get it out of the way. That way, if there's a safety car later on, he doesn't need sitting with that drive-through penalty. So Thomas Lang and Demo out in front, then Italian Legend putting a lot of pressure on Demo at the moment, trying to force an error. Demo is on those soft tires, so he needs to try and make a move as quickly as possible. He needs to get out of that 1 second gap, because if he's not more than a second ahead of Italian Legend, he is going to end up in a situation where he's essentially not taking advantage of those soft tires. Italian Legend will be able to get the DRS and keep up with him. Even if he gets a good exit out of some of the corners, he won't be able to pull away just because of the fact that the DRS will help him in. It's lap 3. There was a virtual safety car, so we will be getting DRS at this lap. We'll see that rear wing open of the Ferrari right about now. There it is. And now this is where it starts to get a little bit difficult for Demo, because he now has to try and defend from the Ferrari. It looks like a lot of locking up there. I do believe that is just the game not knowing how to interpret the brake pressure of the cars, so that locking up that you see isn't actually locking up. Thomas Lang with the fastest lap of the race once again. I really do need to try and figure out how to turn off that little thing at the top that the game does, because I think there is one I think there might be one in the telemetry app that I've got, but I don't see it triggering, so that's a little bit interesting. So yeah, so far so good. Quite a few people just a little bit far from each other, so nothing really to keep an eye on other than these two here. Demo's tires are not doing too badly, and in fact he's doing quite well as compared to Italian Legend behind him. Italian Legend on the slightly harder compound. That compound should be able to last a little bit longer, but you can see Italian Legend is not taking the curbs as much as you would expect, and I wonder if that is in an attempt to reduce the amount of wear that's going through his tires. These tire temperatures are absolutely ridiculous, and Keycracker has lost it at the moment, so I'm not entirely sure what happened there. Keycracker was there on the right hand side, so a little bit of a moment coming out of turn 8, really unfortunate for him, but that is one of those things. So what should be interesting to see, so official Demo currently has the soft tires. His tyres are not doing too badly. His tyre wear rate doesn't seem to be too much above the medium shod runners around him. Thomas Lang on the hard tyres, his tyres do look like they are doing quite good. Oh, Ben, welcome. How are you? How have you been? It's been a while. So Italian Legends, this peels off into the pits. Demo does not. So Demo staying out on those soft tires, possibly not the best idea. Yes, tire managing, absolutely it did. Does look like he has done a good job of tire management. Italian Legend was struggling on those medium tires, and he is getting rid of them. Drive-through penalty for Mystic Muchwind, speeding under the safety car. So he does need to be careful of that. That will be another drive-through penalty that we've seen. That's the second so far. Esco getting the first one. So yeah, unfortunate there for Muchwind. Yes, he is indeed. We've seen some incredible strategies from Demo with regards to tires. He's managed to make some soft tires last a lot longer than what you would expect. Which one is that? That is... Oh, alright. Interesting. My camera is busy picking weird things up in the background. So yeah, as I said, we have seen some pretty incredible tire strategies from Demo previously, making soft tires last a lot longer than what anyone expected. So it looks like he might be trying to do the same, but he does need to worry about the guys behind around him as well. Thomas Lang has those hard tires. He is going to be able to go deep into the race. He's probably hoping for a later safety car. The safety car actually probably doesn't help him much at all. Demo, I would have expected to go in and get rid of those soft tires and put on some mediums, but hasn't done it at the moment. Chicken Wing in third position, so making some decent moves up into third place. Let's look at his race story. Started sixth, now in third place. So Chicken Wing actually doing quite well this race. Does this give me what I want? It does not. Okay, so that's not working. So yeah, that is good news for Chicken Wing getting up there. Elf also, I believe, has moved up quite a bit, 7th into 4th. Italian Legend has lost a couple of positions, but that's because he has pits. So yeah, a couple of interesting stories out there. That was strange. Something just popped up on one of my screens and then disappeared almost immediately. Obviously some sort of update. So yeah, Thomas Lang out in front, currently behind the safety car. We're going to be waiting for SKO and Muchwind to try and catch up. So yeah, not much to talk about right now. Not much has happened so far. Obviously, we've had Keycracker's retirement. Not entirely sure what happened there. And hopefully he will pop into the chat and let us know. But may have just been a moment through turn 8. It is a quite difficult turn. It is one of the places that you can lose it on this track. So yeah, may have just been that. Ooh, that was very close. The safety car slowing down much quicker than anyone expected. Thomas Lang slowing down a little bit weirdly. Official Demo almost crashing into. So yeah, here is the corner where what happened. So you have to really go wide and then try and turn your way back in, and you're braking at the same time, trying to break your momentum. And if you touch that curb on the right hand side, I know you can spin out quite easily there and into the wall where we saw his car was stricken. So I wonder if that's maybe what happened there. But yeah, interesting to see, and unfortunate there for Keycracker. Taking this opportunity to test that the Halo HUD is still in the right place, and it isn't. So that we will be able to... Ooh, safety car in this lap, so it is ignoring the fact that Muchwind is in the middle of nowhere, and I think that's because Muchwind has actually crashed. He has indeed, and struggling to get back underway, so that would be why the safety car has ignored him. Harsh as it is, he does have damage there, so there, and you can have a look there. This front thing is damaged. So again, let's see how this goes. Demo is looking to take advantage of the restart. He is on soft tires. Those soft tires are A little cold at the moment. Um, so he's going to have to push incredibly hard in these last couple of corners to get the temperature up to speed. Where does Thomas Lang go? And it looks like he's gone already. That is nice and early, and Demo not actually catching it as quickly as I imagine he might have wanted to. Cold tires instead of washing him out wide. How is he going to do this? Is not looking great for him. Off the halo head, yeah, it looks like he is under pressure by Chicken Wing. Chicken Wing does not manage to get alongside him going into the first corner, but we do see a fight between Elf and Italian Legend in the McLaren and the Ferrari. Possibly a little bit of a touch there between the two of them, but they have managed to keep it going in the right direction. Oh, and as I say that, Elf unfortunately gets spun around, and that's really unfortunate for Elf. Not entirely sure if that was a little bit of a tap or whether he may have gotten on the power a little bit too early with the pressure from Italian Legend behind him. Demo always starts with the softs and moves to the mediums. Yeah, it's not the best thing to do. So race by race, you have to be able to decide what to do. Different tracks treat tires in different ways. So if he works a little bit more on his tire strategies, Chicken Wing having a massive snap there. That's put him under pressure by Italian Legend. Italian Legend gets alongside him, gets into the corner nice and quickly. Very, very clean pass there by Italian Legend. Oh, and Chicken just overcooks it through that corner, gets on the power just a little bit too early, and that is unfortunately Chicken dropping down behind Gottlieb now as well. So Gottlieb now up into 4th place, and Chicken Wing actually under pressure by... Really, game? I want to look forward, please. Isco now putting pressure on Chicken Wing, and doesn't look like he's going to try anything this lap, but now that we're looking forward, it looks like he is a little bit too far away for now at least, so we'll keep an eye on the gaps. Isco going very wide there, and that's not going to help his cause. Italian Legend is putting a lot of pressure on official Demo once again, so fresh tires on that Ferrari, Demo on the softs, and this is one of those things that you do need to worry about with the softs. The softs will start falling off. They are getting to the point now, just looking at his tire, where he is going to start struggling with traction, and it looks like he has done exactly that, struggling through turn 2 and now down into turn, what is this, 6. There are so many corners here that I wouldn't consider corners, but yeah, turn 6, and you can see Italian Legend is all over the back of him. He has the tire advantage, and he is putting as much pressure as possible onto Demo. This will be allowing Thomas Lang to get out ahead a little bit further than what we have seen previously, but hopefully Demo can find some pace, or Italian Legend can get past him quickly and get after the Mercedes ahead. But yeah, this looks like Italian is putting a massive pressure on Demo. We're right on board as they are incredibly close together now. Give me my halo head, there we go, and you can see the massive speeds you carry through at 240 km an hour. Even before you get out of the corner, Demo goes defensive, leaves just about a car's width between himself and the left hand side of the track, which will basically force Italian Legend to make a decision. And you can see it was the right thing to do, but Demo goes a little bit deep, breaks a little bit too late, does have a lockup and goes too deep into the corner, but does manage to get a decent run off that corner and keeps the position. So I'm not entirely sure if Italian Legend is maybe trying to just play a little bit of a game, just keep himself behind for now. But let's see what on earth was that? A massive moment there for official Demo. Not entirely sure what happened there, but it wouldn't be DRS games. That would have been I don't know, that may have been a lockup which he then lifted to try and mitigate, but it was a very strange movement for the car, possibly a little bit of lag. It does look like SKO has spun in one of the McLarens coming out of turn 2 into turn 3, but yeah, that was a very strange moment for Demo, really unfortunate for him. Now he has to try and chase down Italian Legend, and there we go. So those soft tires, I think those soft tires have maybe gone off the cliff a little bit. I did say he was going to be hitting the first of the steps in performance, and yeah, unfortunately this game doesn't model the tires that great. You definitely feel the certain steps. It's something that when I was trying to learn to race without the racing line, I definitely noticed that at certain points in the tire life, those tires just stop performing, and I think Demo may have hit that point. I think he is racing with the line on, but it still does affect you because you have your braking points and you can see how slow he has to go into that corner. And that is really unfortunate for him. Muchwind is spun down the straight. I have no idea. And there we go. Demo is hopping into the pits to get rid of those medium tires. So I can tell you now, 40% on the front left. So he didn't really run them that far, but I think just with the way that he was starting to try and push them, I don't think they managed to stick to the temperature. 106 degrees on that front left just as he swapped it off. So yeah, those tires were not staying in the temperature window. I think he might be running tire pressures that are a little bit too high on the front at least. His rear tires seem to be behaving themselves, but his front tires were incredibly hot. And that's a setup issue. Thomas Lang currently running out front. His tires have not actually hit more than about 101 degrees the entire race. So different setups, different ways to set up the car. Italian Legend has had some high tire temperatures, so he seems to be running a similar setup to what Demo is. So Demo currently in 7th, Italian Legend in 2nd, and we'll see how that converges. Italian Legend obviously taking that pit stop early under the safety car, so he might have to pit again, and Demo might have the medium tires. 19 laps. It's a push. If there's another safety car, maybe he can make it work, but for now I don't think that's going to happen. I think he will end up having to pit again before the end of the race, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him go onto soft tires. So Thomas Lang out in first. He is now 6.8 seconds ahead of Italian Legend. Italian Legend in Ferrari in 2nd position. Chicken Wing in 3rd, currently 15 seconds back from Italian Legend. So a massive gap between the first two and everyone else. In fact, massive gaps all over the place. We have to go all the way back into 5th position, past Gottlieb, who's currently in 4th in the 2nd of the Mercedes, into 5th. SKO, Elf, and Official Demo all on top of each other. Demo on those fresh tires. Will he take Elf going into turn 1? No, Elf defends nicely going to the middle of the track, but Demo with those fresher tires is sliding the car around there. That's not going to do well for his temperatures, and it does look like his temperature... no, that was not him. It does look like his temperatures did spike a little bit there, but it looks like he has managed to pull it off and pass the car almost sideways. So Elf down, SKO to go in the 2nd McLaren, and it looks like he's already right on top of that gearbox. Does he try and move through these corners? It did look like he did pull out, and it looks like he is going for a move. So those fresh medium tires making all the difference in the world for Demo, and he gets through turn 8 alongside the first McLaren, but the second one that he was passing. He now has a little bit of time to catch up, 2.7 seconds to Gottlieb, but that is a back marker there. So Gottlieb, you can see him just on the screen in that Mercedes out ahead of him, and let's see what Demo can do. Does he get a good launch off there? What does the timing do? I'll just try and figure out where exactly I'm supposed to be looking on that screen. 1 second, 0.9 seconds. So Demo did get DRS from that back marker, so that is going to have helped him quite a lot. It should give him DRS down the pit straight as well. 0.5 of a second current gap between him and the car ahead. Will he manage to make it through? We'll see whether he can do it. That's still not working. Pulls out and away he goes. Gets through, and quite a nice move. Quite a very definitive move there as well. So you can see 3.4 seconds. Sorry, let me put that back. 3.6 seconds quicker than Chicken Wing ahead. So I do not see this lasting very long. He is 3 seconds back from Chicken. So yeah, this should not be a long chase. And let's actually ride on board, because it looks like he is providing some exceptional pace on those tires. So fastest sectors so far, we've got the fastest first sector belongs to Thomas Lang. Fastest second sector also belongs to Thomas Lang. Fastest third sector, my telemetry's not telling me. So you see, and a little bit of a moment there. It looks like Thomas might have He does, yes, he does have the fastest second sector as well. I don't know why it's not showing a purple sector there. But yeah, Demo already onto the back of Chicken. Does he get DRS? Was he within a second? I think he was, so we'll see as he comes down towards the DRS zone. Does it open? No. Okay, so it wasn't close enough for the DRS, but we'll get the slipstream and the overspeed. Oh, and Chicken Wing brakes super early. Luckily, oh, that was incredibly close. Oh, wow. Okay, cool. So, Demo managing to survive there as Chicken Wing loses it a little bit through 14 and 15. And well done to him, because I honestly thought he was going into that gearbox twice there. So great reflexes there from Demo, and he now has to chase Italian Legend out ahead. Let's have a look at the lap times, 1.4 seconds quicker than Italian Legend. He has 19 seconds to try and catch up though. So this might be a little bit of a problem. Best lap, let's have a look and see. Best lap, Italian Legend is actually faster than Demo. So if Italian does put his foot down, there's a good chance that he does manage to maintain that position. But Demo is flying at the moment and trying to catch up to those guys out in front. So Thomas Lang is wearing through his tires. He hasn't pit yet, so Italian Legend is actually in a pretty good position. He's within 11.4 seconds, so he will leapfrog Thomas Lang when he goes into the pits if there isn't a safety car. So let's just have a look if I can switch that across there. Leader gap, Demo 30 seconds back. I can't remember what the pit loss time is here. I think it might be about 25 seconds, so I wouldn't count Demo entirely out. He's got 30 seconds that he is currently back from the leader. So he will be sort of there or thereabouts to when Thomas goes into pit. Gottlieb gets through on Chicken Wing, and it looks like they might actually still be fighting. No, nice easy pass down the straight with DRS, but Chicken Wing does look like he's coming back at Gottlieb. Gottlieb did not get a great run through 14 and 15, squeezing Chicken towards the outside of the track. Didn't quite leave space and goes wide on the final corner, so I don't think this battle is over just yet. Chicken gets DRS, 15 laps left to go indeed. Benkro, yeah, I'll be honest, I actually quite enjoy the Chinese circuit. It is very technical. I like the weird little snail shell corners. And yeah, ooh, and that looked like we may have had a spin there, and it is indeed. Does he have damage? He does not have damage. The only person on the grid with damage is Muchwind Elf coming through, and will probably get through nice and easily going into this corner. Although Chicken doesn't have damage, so he will be braking as per usual. So unlikely to lose the position too quickly unless he's cooked his tires. His tires aren't great, but they're not. They're definitely not entirely cooked. So he should be fine for now. But is under pressure from Elf. Does Elf fall back a little bit? Yeah, Elf is not pushing as hard as he normally does. So I think Elf is just having a nice chill run. Yeah, the thing is, I don't particularly like the Barcelona circuit. I found a couple of the spots just weren't modeled very well. I don't know if they fixed that or anything like that. But yeah, I've always found China to be a very technical track, as we see Chicken Wing having a massive snap there. Does that provide Elf with the opportunity to pass down the straight? Just keeping an eye on the gaps. It looks like they're all fine. Elf is right on top of him. Goes to the inside of 14. Chicken Wing breaks a little bit later. Elf just braking a little bit earlier. Is he going to go for the inside? He does not. Again, it does look like Elf is having just a nice relaxed race. Maybe just trying to get back into the game, get back into the flow of things. Chicken Wing goes into the pits. So that was maybe... yeah, his tires aren't great. Speaking of tires, the only person that actually doesn't appear to have anything too bad with his tires is Demo, and we have a safety car? No, just a... What is that? That is... It's a virtual safety car, so... Oh... it looks like Muchwind retired on track once again, which obviously we don't generally like. So yeah, that will need to be addressed. Ooh, a massive slide there by Thomas Lang. That may have been a delta issue, so he may have suddenly come up on his delta and had to slam on the brakes, and that put him going sideways. But this is actually really good for him. See, he is almost pulled a Lewis Hamilton. Oh, that was very close. Um, so yeah, Thomas Lang currently getting rid of his original tires. So this is, let's see, it's probably stop, and off he goes. So 2.2 second stop, so he did manage to get everything right. DRS is now enabled again. Oh no, that gives... Okay, so Italian Legend was always going to get that lead. But that is good for him. That was a virtual safety car, so not bunching the track, the drivers up, and this is actually really good for Thomas Lang. Really bad for official Demo. I was saying how his tires are the only ones that aren't really suffering at the moment, and then, well, that happened. Gottlieb, unfortunately, has had a bit of a moment coming out of turn 15, and he is going into the pits as well. His tires are looking a little bit shot. Is Elf going to follow him? No, Elf heads through. So we've got a little bit of some tire strategy at play. Italian Legend definitely has to pit again. His tires are not looking great. Thomas Lang is obviously on fresh tires. He is on the mediums, so he has quite a bit to play with. 13 laps remaining, medium tires. This should be a nice run, a nice easy run to the end. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a fastest lap in the next couple of laps. Gottlieb has left the session. That's really unfortunate there, and did retire in the pits, so that is fine. His car is coming up, but that's just the game being ridiculous. Thomas Lang going to the inside, heading down into turn number 14, is ahead before the corner itself, before the braking zone. Fresh tires. He will be able to brake a little bit later, and you can see the difference that makes. Thomas Lang now into first position. Italian Legend drops into second. Italian will need to pit, as we mentioned earlier. Official Demo might be able to make it through to the end if he continues to manage his tires. He does have to try and keep within range of Italian Legend, but I think he will be able to do it. We are on lap 17 of 28, 12 laps left to go according to the telemetry, as we see Official Demo going a little bit wide there. Esco having quite a quiet race after that drive-through penalty earlier on. Ooh, I say that and immediately snaps the back out. Tires will need to pit again at some point, and there we go. This interesting pit lane, and once again, a person just struggling with a pit lane. Luckily, there are no pit lane entry penalties there. But yeah, people struggling with the pit lane here at the Shanghai International Circuit. Alrighty, so Elf in fourth position. Now, after his teammate went into the pits, Esco coming out of the pits now. Chicken Wing is going to be fighting him on the exit. He will have warm tires. Chicken Wing on soft tires, 12 laps left. I don't believe that's going to make it to the end. That will probably be an issue. Gottlieb's car is still running, so it doesn't look like he retired. It looks like he just went into the pits and left the session. So again, that is something that is going to need to be mentioned to the drivers. Really unfortunate there, but yeah, Gottlieb has left the session without actually retiring the car. Thomas Lang, there it is, fastest lap of the race, 134.416 as Italian Legend comes into the pits. Let's see how he does here in the pit lane itself. So yeah, his tires currently, you can see 51% after 13 laps. So wearing through his tires pretty quickly. Soft tires, so going for the speed, going for the pace. Demo, this might push Demo hard enough that he does then have to actually push a little bit on his laps. If Demo has to push on his laps, he might push his tires a little bit harder than what he was planning to do. If he does that, they might wear out before the end of the race, which means that we might end up with a situation where Demo has to pit again onto the soft tires, which is what I initially thought he was going to have to do. And he's going to have to then push. He'll probably do that around 6 or 7 laps from the end, I would guess. So probably about 4 or 5 laps from now. And this is going to be really interesting. This has become a race of strategy more than anything else. I mean, you can see the guys spread out all over the circuit. It is a massive circuit, so especially with fewer people running, it is difficult to actually see some actual combat. But having said that, that's not good. I have no idea who you are, and oh, Gottlieb. Okay, cool. Sorry, I will add you shortly. Let's see, requests. There we go. Invite sent. Yep, no worries. Good to see that you've managed to get back in. Sorry about your game crashing. That kind of sucks. So Thomas Lang gets once again another fastest lap of the race. So Thomas is making his way out front. Ooh, and Demo actually is pitting early. That's interesting. I see. Some very strange tire strategies playing out here. 10 laps left to go. And he's popped into the pits now. He's going to be fighting against Italian Legend on similarly aged tires. I don't know if this was the right choice. I think he should have waited a couple of laps, gone in a little bit later. The lap here is long enough that you can fight like that. Esco did manage to get past Chicken Wings. Chicken Wing hasn't let go yet, but he is very low on the ERS. You can see the ERS recharge light on the back there. Elf now in the pits will be coming out with, let's see, soft tires as well. So pretty much everyone going for a two-stop strategy. It's nice to see. But I don't know. I think I would have run later into the race, pushed a little bit longer into the race. We do have a couple of people out there that. Okay, no, that is just a yellow flag of Elf coming out. Gottlieb has managed to get past him as well, so that's good to see there. But yeah, that's a little bit of a weird one from the guys there. 10 laps, or 9 laps left now. Gottlieb has now joined, so he is actually going to be on track properly. And it looks like Thomas Lang is actually coming up on Elf and Gottlieb to lap them at this point. So surprisingly, even despite the fact that this track is so incredibly long, Thomas has managed to make up some time and try and get onto the back of the back markers. Italian Legend, official demo, both on soft tires, different tire age. The tire age is a lap different. It's not enough of a difference. I feel like official demo may have dropped the ball a little bit going for that strategy. But yeah, we could be wrong. We've seen him do things with those soft tires previously that no one would have expected, as we almost see Chickenman go into the back of SKO. But SKO seems to be defending quite nicely there. Has managed to... Oh, and Alf has gotten through on Gottlieb. In 6th and 7th are they alongside each other. They are indeed. Nice moves there. And looks like they are still fighting as they come through here. Oh, Gottlieb has had a long spin, so that puts him out of that fight. But yeah, Chicken Wing is currently on the back of SKO, hasn't let go of him, so is chasing quite well. Hopefully he manages to keep his throttle pedal under control. We saw him going through turn 2 earlier, just to get a little bit too much on the throttle and spun him around. So he just needs to remember that, take it easy, make sure that he's not getting the ERS on too early, not burning it too much. It does look like he's burning it in a couple of weird places to try and keep a track of SKO. It's not the worst idea, especially with the long DRS straights that are right on top of each other. So he is using his ERS fairly intelligently, and we'll see what he can do. He is struggling to keep up with the McLaren down the straights, so he is needing to put down the ERS a little bit earlier than is perhaps prudent, so that might be why he was having issues earlier on. It looks like he is now falling back in 1 second. There it is. He would have been within a second through the DRS detection zone. There it is. The rear wing is open. Does it do enough? Does he get back within a second of the car ahead into the DRS detection zone? Is at the end of this little straight here. 1.3, 1.4, 1.4. and 1.5 at the DRS dissection zone. So out of DRS now for Chicken Wing, we actually see Thomas Lang coming up on the back of Gottlieb, the two Mercedes at opposite ends. The race at the moment, a Mercedes sandwich. So Thomas Lang gets through on Gottlieb, gets through nice and easily, outbreaks his teammate, and off he goes. So Gottlieb the first to go a lap down, who is still on the run. Oh, that's really unfortunate. No worries, Keycracker. We did wonder what had happened to you. We actually, I thought maybe you'd hit the brake pedal a little bit too hard on the curb on the inside of turn 8, but pedal got stuck. I take it you mean the accelerator pedal. That's really unfortunate. But yeah, Thomas Lang out in front has managed to lap the first of the back runners, is now chasing down Elf to see whether he can lap him as well. We still have Thomas Lang, Italian Legend, and Official Demo fighting each other, and as you can see, Demo's not really making up too much time. He's got 10.11 seconds really to try and catch up to Italian Legend, and unfortunately that's just there we go, Elf getting out of the way to let the faster car through. That is going to open him up a little bit to the car behind Gottlieb. Will now have a little bit of an advantage. Did he get within a second? The telemetry on screen is very broken because it says 0, but obviously that's not the case. Oh, well, that's interesting. Let's see if this gives us... No, that doesn't give us anything better. And this? No. Okay, so Gottlieb is broken. He is apparently 0 seconds behind Elf, and that's showing across all my telemetry. So I'm not entirely sure what's happening there, but okay. Oh, there we go. It's fixed now. That was a bit ridiculous. So someone got a penalty. So Chicken Wing gets a penalty, a 3-second penalty. So that would have been full track limits. Sorry, the display that I'm looking at with the penalties on is a little bit far away. Is Demo on fresh set of softs? He is not. His soft tires are approximately the same age as Italian Legends. Let's here, current tire age. There we go. That's not helpful. I want the age. Current tire, that doesn't give us anything useful either. Okay, so for some reason it's not showing the tire age itself. So Italian Legend is on 5-lap-old soft tires. Demo's on 4-lap-old soft tires. As I was commenting earlier, I would have only expected Demo to come in for new tires around now. 6 laps left to go. If he'd come in now, I don't think he would have lost as much time. And I think he would, because Italian Legend would have at this point been going a little bit slower, and also that would have given him very fresh softs near the end of the race. I feel like that would have been a better option, but he did try that again. He did pit on the lap after Italian Legend, and I think that was a mistake. So 6 laps left to go, as I mentioned. Thomas Lang is currently behind Elf and Gottlieb again. He must have had an issue which we didn't catch, because that is a very slow first sector. 20 seconds slow in the first sector. Not entirely sure what happened there, but Thomas Lang must have had some sort of issue. And he is now no longer quite as far ahead of the others as we saw earlier. Is he running a little bit slower? Yesterday, I made a mistake. Yeah, you know, unfortunately, this is things that happen. This is preseason, so it doesn't count for points or anything, but I know it is frustrating, especially when you're looking forward to a race, to have something go wrong. At some point, I must pull my leg out again and race around a bit. Although at the moment, I'm flying around in DCS more than driving around in F1. I have heard some interesting rumors though, as of today. I heard that F124 might be coming earlier than usual, so that should be quite a lot of fun. And hopefully they will have actually stuck to what they said and launch on a new engine. Maybe that will be more stable on in general, although it will mean that the previous generation consoles will be dropped, so the PS4 and Xbox One will probably be dropped, but hopefully everything ends up more stable as a result. So Thomas Lang out in front. He is currently 23 seconds ahead of Italian Legend, who is 8.2 seconds ahead of Demo. Demo is starting to catch, but Italian Legend doesn't have the tire advantage actually anymore. It looks like Italian is starting to try and push as well, but those tires are getting to the point where they are going to start wearing. Demo's tires are approximately where we saw them start wearing out previously, so he does need to be careful as well. Thomas Lang gets the fastest lap of the race. He may have been doing an ERS charge when he did that 40-second first sector. Esco currently in fourth, Chickling in fifth, Elf in sixth, and Gottlieb could bring up the rear in seventh after that disconnect earlier on. Hopefully you're able to join us then, Bennett. What's your in-game name, if you don't mind me asking? So yeah, Lang out in front. I need to decide whether I want to... It's weird, I'm sure in the game he's Thomas Lang, and yet for some reason the telemetry has rendered him as just Lang. I don't know why it's done that, to be honest. But one of those things. Sector 2, yellow flag. Who is that? That is Gottlieb, just getting out of the way of the faster Mercedes. So that is, yeah, Ben Terrific 16. Okay, well, you know, you should have my in-game name. It is the same as the Twitch name. So, yeah, when you get the game, just add me on EA, and we'll look forward to seeing you in F1 24. If it does come out in April, I mean, that's going to be a massive break from the last couple of years, and I'm sure it's going to be... well, see, this is the thing. We don't know whether it's going to be the same engine either. There is a good amount of rumor that they are reworking the engine. There's a lot of people hoping that they do use the same engine from WRC, which I haven't played. Because I don't enjoy not being in control of the car. I just always felt like Rally is just being thrown around in a box that happens to be on wheels rather than actually trying to control the car and make your way through things. Obviously that is not what everyone sees it as. Obviously there is a massive amount of skill in rally driving. I cannot take that away from them, but it's just not for me. So Italian Legend still holding on to that second position, 3 laps left to go. He is 7.3 seconds ahead of official Demo. So on that last lap, come on, there we go. That's not the one I want. There we go. 0.5 of a second quicker on that last lap from official Demo. So he is pushing as hard as he possibly can, but you can see his ERS charge light is running there. That was a little bit of a messy turn 1 and 2. It took forever to come out of there. I thought he'd spun. But he does lose a little bit of time in that first sector. Comes to the end of the first sector and ends up quite a bit slower than his previous lap, but it does still look like he was a little bit faster than Italian Legend through there. Oddly enough, Demo actually has the fastest first sector of anyone by a hundredth or so. Thomas Lang has the fastest second sector. I'm just trying to see who has the fastest third sector. Again, it just doesn't seem to be rendering the purple of the fastest sectors randomly. So Thomas has a decent one. Yes. So it looks like Thomas Lang has the fastest third sector as well, but it's just not rendering the purple. So, yeah, unfortunate there. Jeff Demo currently in third position, chasing down Italian Legend. And unfortunately, that last lap, this current lap that he's on, which is not the one being displayed, so let's get rid of that. It does look like he has struggled a little bit this lap. It looks like he's pushing the tires a little bit too far, and his ERS is way too low. You can see it flashing away, and has been merrily flashing away for the entire lap. Has Italian Legend managed to make a little bit of a gap? No, Demo faster once again. So Demo is absolutely pushing his absolute hardest. It is paying off. He is catching up to Italian Legend. 2 laps left to go in the penultimate round tour of the track at the moment. But you can see Italian Legend is already approaching turn 6 as Demo is just getting through turn 5. So, yeah, unfortunate there. Maybe it would have been different if he had managed to pit at a different time. But we see Elf and Chickenwing busy fighting at the moment. Chickenwing getting through on Elf going into turn 14. Again, Elf just doesn't seem to be pushing as hard as we've seen him push previously. Obviously, this isn't a track that we see often. And I know Elf does race without the racing line most of the time, so he might just be being a little bit tentative. His tires will have taken a step. Speaking of tires taking a step, Chicken Wing is actually on quite old soft tires. I think those tires are going to have issues towards the end. Thomas Lang has started the final lap of the race as he approaches. Those two are fighting. Italian Legend currently in second place. He's also on tires that he has to be careful with, so I wonder if that's maybe what's happening. He is being careful with his tires. Demo is pushing a little bit harder to try and make up the position, and we'll see what he does. I don't think... that's Gottlieb. Yeah, I don't think he's going to manage to make it all the way through, or rather, I don't think he's going to be able to get through on Italian Legend, but he has done pretty well, a little bit better than I expected. I do feel like if he had managed to run a little bit longer on those medium tires before he switched onto the softs, it would have been a better option. Chicken Wing now down into 6th, so lost it going through turn 11, and that has allowed Elf to get out in front. Elf getting out of the way off the racing line to let Thomas Lang through. And that's actually a pretty good strat, because by letting Thomas Lang through, it means Elf is now a lap down. So when Thomas Lang crosses the line, ooh, that that was not the right way to take that corner. When Thomas Lang crosses the line now, he will then be a lap up from where Elf is. This will end the race, a well-fought race by Thomas Lang, gets across the line. That will then mean that Elf and Chicken Wing finish in their current positions. There is not another lap for them to fight. Then it's Italian Legend and Official Demo are a little bit too far apart. So Demo is currently going through turn 13 at the moment, while Italian Legend is well down the straight. And may have even got DRS off that back marker. So unfortunately not quite enough in the tank for Official Demo. He did catch up quite nicely there to try and catch up to Italian Legend, but in the end just not quite enough in the tank, not quite enough on the tires to make it all the way through. Italian Legend 64% on his front tires at the end of this race. Official Demo currently running with 58%, so a great run by the two of them. But I do believe if Demo had run those soft tires a little bit later on in the race, has hung on those medium tires for a little bit longer, I think we may have seen a very different story towards the end here. Esco, the final person to cross the line, currently going down the straight at the moment in his McLaren. So we'll see him come in through into the final corners, and yeah, then a good race all round. Only 2 people retiring, so Dandy Brandy not quite calling it correctly today, but yeah, Demo, I actually thought you'd go on for another like 4 or 5 laps. I was calling you'd probably pit in the last 6 or 7 laps. So yeah, you pit way earlier than I expected. But yeah, a good race all round. As Alf has said, a bit of a skill gap there. But yeah, that is one of those things that happens. Thomas Lang's definitely a T1 driver. This is preseason, so everyone is racing together. We will be racing everyone together in the season itself as well. We're going to see what can happen as far as points and so on are concerned. But yeah, we don't have enough players just yet to run 2 separate tiers. We will be running a single tier on Tuesdays going forward. And yeah, no, that was a great race. Well done to everyone involved. It was an absolute pleasure to have you all here. And as usual, absolute pleasure to have you all in the chat. It was great to be able to interact with you all, and hope to see you next week on Tuesday for the first round of the season proper. So with that, a very good evening, and we'll see you next time.